Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So in the last video we were talking about post-structuralism or deconstruction, and today we are going to continue that. So the first writer that we are going to talk about today is Jacques Derrida. I hope आप सबने इनका नाम सुना होगा because he's a very popular writer, especially in context of the deconstruction, because he was the first one who termed deconstruction. जिन्होंने पहली बार ये word use किया था deconstruction, that was Jacques Derrida. Now first let's talk about the books that he gave. First was Of Spirit, second of Grammatology, third Heidegger, and The Question, and fourth, which is the most important that you need to remember in context of deconstruction, is Structure, Sign and Play in the discourse of human sciences. This is the most important book when it comes to deconstruction. So you need to remember all these books by Jacques Derrida, and let's continue. Okay, we are going to talk about the concepts that he gave now. Should I wrap it? So the concepts that we are going to talk about is, first one, he said that हमने structuralism में पढ़ा था that the meaning is the closest to the center. ये हमने structuralism में पढ़ा था. Now Jacques Derrida said that if this is a structure and this is the center, he said the center is always moving towards the margin and the margin is always moving towards the center. So what is the real center and what is the real margin? You never know. उन्होंने बोला कि जो सेंटर है और जो मार्जिन है, ये मार्जिन हमेशा सेंटर की तरफ जा रहा है और सेंटर हमेशा मार्जिन की तरफ मूव कर रहा है, इसीलिए देयर इज़ नो रियल मीनिंग और रियल मीनिंग ऑफ द सेंटर और द मार्जिन्स. The second thing he said was, these are the important things about him that he said. So the second thing he said is, there is nothing outside the text. आपको जो भी पढ़ना है ना, everything that you want to read, आपको उस ही टेक्स्ट में मिलेगा. You don't have to go outside the text to know anything about the writer or the history or anything. Everything that you need to know is available in the text. So what we used to do is, according to structuralist perspective, what we used to do is, if there was a text, this is a text, let's say it's a book, इसकी book के बारे में you would also read the biography of the writer, because you need to know about the author. You would need to read about the history of the time it was written in, of the age. Then you would need to know the cultural, the political, the economical. What he said was, Jacques Derrida said, cancel all this. All you need is right here in the text. जो भी चाहिए आपको वो सब टेक्स्ट के अंदर है, इसीलिए ये सब पढ़ना बंद करो. This is what is important. This is the only thing that is important. Now, the next concept that he gave was of aphoria. Aphoria. Aphoria is a word that's been taken from the Greeks, and the word means puzzles. Now, in Derrida's context, what he said was aphoria is something that is made of contradictions. उन्होंने बोला एक सेंटेंस है, उसमें कोई दो कॉन्ट्रडिक्शंस हैं, अगर ये दोनों कॉन्ट्रडिक्शंस एग्जिस्ट कर रहे हैं एक साथ तो हम इसको बोलेंगे अफोरिया. उन्होंने बोला बिकॉज ऑफ दिस कॉन्ट्रडिक्शंस देयर इज अ कंफ्यूजन दैट्स क्रिएटेड इन द टेक्स्ट. व्हाट इज क्रिएटेड? कंफ्यूजन. नाउ ये जो कंफ्यूजन है, ही सेज आपको कोई जल्दी नहीं है इसे दूर करने की, आपको दूर करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. उन्होंने बोला दिस इज़ अ साइन ऑफ मैच्योरिटी. If you have started understanding, it is a sign of maturity for reading, for literature. If you started understanding कि contradictions exist करते हैं और इसकी वजह से confusions create होते हैं, पर confusions को solve करना ज़रूरी नहीं है. तो these three things go hand in hand when it comes to aphoria. That's what he said. Now, next concept that he gave was of logocentrism. Logocentrism. Now, what is logocentrism? Logocentrism means reason. He said that the world is made of reason and feelings. He says in literature, what is important is this, not this. There is no need for reasons because उनके हिसाब से लाइफ के जो क्वेश्चंस हैं, लाइफ क्वेश्चंस, वो यूजुअली इससे आंसर होते हैं, इससे नहीं. That's what Derrida said. He said the life questions that life has to offer to us are answered by feelings, most of them, not by reason. That's why it is more important to focus on feelings than on reason, especially when it comes to literature, because literature, as we all know, is a representation of life. उसके बाद the third thing that he said, the third concept that he gave was of difference. Now we say difference. This is also difference and this is also difference. Now you need to remember the difference that Derrida was talking about was this. Also he gave this example when it comes to logocentrism. He said that these are two words that create confusion because difference and difference, when you speak them, when you say, they both sound the same, but what the one that he was talking about was this one, the A one. So let's talk about difference. Now, what difference is? Basically, so let's talk about difference. What difference is? He said that difference is that there are, we all know there is infinite signifieds. हमने कॉन्सेप्ट पढ़ा था सिग्निफाइड, सिग्निफायर और साइन का. सो उन्होंने बोला साइन तो एक होगा पर उसके सिग्निफाइड्स इन्फिनिट होंगे. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अब मैं आपको एक एग्जाम्पल देती हूँ. मैंने बोला हाउस, यहाँ पे जो हाउस बोला मैंने, दिस इज अ साइन. नाउ व्हाट डज इट सिग्निफाई? इट कुड सिग्निफाई एन इन्फिनिट नंबर ऑफ थिंग्स, infinite number of houses. You could see a different picture of a house. I could see a different picture of a house. It could change with perception. It could change with perception in your mindset as well. So उन्होंने बोला कि जो साइन है वो तो है एक, लेकिन जो सिग्निफाइड है वो है इन्फिनिट. और सिग्निफाइड हमेशा बदलते रहते हैं. इट्स कॉन्स्टेंटली चेंजिंग. That's what difference means according to Jacques Derrida. Now, let's talk about the next concept. Draculage. Now, ये जो concept था ये Jacques Derrida ने खुद नहीं दिया था. This was given by Claude Lévi-Strauss. But this is important to know in context of Derrida because Derrida ने इनको अपोज करके अपना कॉन्सेप्ट दिया था. तो ड्रिकोलेज, व्हाट इज ड्रिकोलेज, लेट मी एक्सप्लेन टू यू फर्स्ट. लेवी स्ट्रॉस ने बोला स्पेशली इन मिथोलॉजिकल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स, उन्होंने बोला कि मिथोलॉजिकल स्टोरीज में जो राइटर है या जो आर्टिस्ट है, एक आर्टिस्ट है, लेट्स से कोई राइटर है, आपने उसका वर्क पढ़ा और आपने उसका क्रिटिसिज्म लिखा, तो आप क्या बन गए? क्रिटिक. उन्होंने बोला दैट द राइटर हैज़ अ फर्स्ट हैंड एक्सपीरियंस, ही इज द वन क्रिएटिंग फर्स्ट हैंड. बट जो क्रिटिक है, he is actually taking the work of the writer and he is making it his own. So he is not actually creating anything, he is having a secondary experience. But what Derrida said was, Derrida opposed it and he said, no, the writer and the artist, they are also not creating something new. So basically, when you write a story, you are writing a story because of some situations that you have faced, or you are when it comes to language, it's nothing new, you learned it, you know it, everyone knows it, so there is nothing new that you are creating. So that's what Derrida was saying, that writer is not creating anything new, he is also using what is available to him and creating a secondary text. Similarly, the critic is too, he is using the writer is using the cultural aspects or the language aspects. So basically, no one is creating anything new. That's what Derrida was saying when he was opposing Dricolage, which was given by Claude Lévi-Strauss. So that was all about Jacques Derrida, and I hope I was able to make you understand. Now let's talk about Paul de Man. Paul de Man. So let's talk about Paul de Man. Paul de Man, you need to remember, it's a very small writer. You need to remember only a few things. There are 3 books that you need to remember about him, which is Allegories of Reading. This is more important, it's been asked before in net. This is important. Allegories of Reading. And the second that he gave was Blindness and Insight. And the last one that he gave was Rhetoric of Romanticism. These are the 3 books that Paul de Man gave that you need to remember. Now let's talk about the concepts. There is only one concept that you need to know about Paul de Man, which was of troops. He gave the concept of troops. Now, the question is, what are troops? Troops are figures of speech. Kind of figures of speech, not exactly, but anything that is unnecessary in a sentence, but it creates some kind of confusion or debases any kind of logic. इसके थ्रू क्या होगा, ट्रूप्स के थ्रू, कि आपका जो लॉजिक है ना वो डिबेस होगा, मतलब आपका जो लॉजिक है वो हिल जाएगा. आपको क्वेश्चन करना पड़ेगा कि ये सेंटेंस एक्चुअली ठीक है या नहीं है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, लेट मी गिव यू एन एग्जाम्पल. हमने बोला फूड और ड्रिंक्स. नाउ हम ये बहुत यूजुअली अपनी लैंग्वेज में यूज़ करते हैं, फूड और ड्रिंक्स. पर अगर आप लैंग्वेज के पर्टिकुलर रूल्स के थ्रू देखोगे तो इज़ दिस सेंटेंस राइट? इट्स नॉट, बिकॉज वी आर यूजिंग और हेयर. अब हमने बोला, हम जब ऐसे किसी से पूछते हैं तो हम क्या बोलना चाहते हैं? इट सेज कि आप फूड लोगे या आप ड्रिंक्स लोगे, फूड और ड्रिंक्स. बट अगर आप लैंग्वेज के थ्रू या लिटरली देखोगे, लिटरली, तो इसका मतलब है कि फूड या ड्रिंक्स, इसका कोई एक्चुअल मीनिंग नहीं निकल रहा है. इट्स जस्ट गिविंग अ चॉइस बिटवीन फूड और ड्रिंक्स. बट इफ यू वुड सी द रेफरेंशियल मीनिंग ऑफ इट, if you would see the referential meaning of it, that says कि you're asking someone if they want food or they want drinks. So this was the concept of truce which was given by Paul de Man. That is all about Paul de Man, and there is a really small writer, another small writer, that is J.H. Miller, and let's talk about him. J.H. Miller. So let's talk about J.H. Miller. There's only one book that you need to remember of his, that is Critic as the Host. Now this book was actually written in reply. ये M.H. Abraham ने एक बुक लिखी थी जिसका नाम था Deconstructive Angel. सो बेसिकली ये जो J.H. मिलर ने क्रिटिक एज दी होस्ट लिखी थी, ये इसके रिप्लाई में लिखी गई थी. ओके, यू हैव टू रिमेंबर कि J.H. मिलर की जो बुक है क्रिटिक एज द होस्ट, वो किसके रिप्लाई में लिखी गई थी? M.H. Abraham's कंस्ट्रक्टिव एंजल. नाउ लेट्स टॉक अबाउट द कॉन्सेप्ट दैट ही गेव इन क्रिटिक एज द होस्ट. इट्स वेरी सिंपल, इट्स वेरी इजी टू रिमेंबर. जैसे बुक का नाम भी है क्रिटिक एज दी होस्ट, तो M.H. Abraham बोलते हैं कि जो कोई भी टेक्स्ट है, एक टेक्स्ट है, वो एक्चुअली किसी और टेक्स्ट से यूज़ किया जा रहा है एज अ पैरासाइट. ये टेक्स्ट इस पे फीस्ट कर रहा है एज अ पैरासाइट. पैरासाइट मतलब पैरासाइट होती है जैसे लीचेस हो गए, वो किसी और के खून पे सर्वाइव करती हैं. ऐसे ही सिमिलरली ये बोल रहे हैं कि ये वाला जो टेक्स्ट है ये इस टेक्स्ट पे सर्वाइव कर रहा है थ्रू अ लाइक अ पैरासाइट. सिमिलरली ये कुछ अलग नहीं है, ये किसी और पुराने टेक्स्ट पे कर रहा होगा. दिस साइकिल गोज ऑन एंड ऑन इन्फिनिटली. ठीक है, तो वो बोलते हैं कि ये जो वाला जो ये नया टेक्स्ट है ना, इसमें इस टेक्स्ट का कुछ इंटरटेक्सचुअलिटी होगी. इंटरटेक्सचुअलिटी मैंने आपको पढ़ाया था जब मैंने आपको स्ट्रक्चरलिज्म पढ़ाया था, फिर भी मैं आपको एक बार थोड़ा सा आइडिया दे देती हूँ इंटरटेक्सचुअलिटी क्या होता है. इंटरटेक्सचुअलिटी होता है जब एक टेक्स्ट में दूसरे टेक्स्ट का या तो कोई जिक्र होगा या एल्यूजन्स होंगे. एल्यूजन्स क्या होते हैं? कोटेशंस. जैसे मैंने कोई नया टेक्स्ट लिखा, तो अगर मैं किसी पुराने टेक्स्ट को कोट कर रही हूँ तो उसको हम इंटरटेक्सचुअलिटी बोलते हैं. तो इन्होंने बोला है J.H. मिलर ने कि हर टेक्स्ट दूसरे टेक्स्ट का कुछ ना कुछ यूज़ करेगा, उसको कोट करेगा या एल्यूजन्स होंगे उसमें, और इसीलिए हर टेक्स्ट में पिछले उसके पुरानी टेक्स्ट का इंटरटेक्सचुअलिटी ज़रूर होगी. वो बोल रहे हैं ये एक चेन है टेक्स्ट की जो चलती आ रही है हमेशा से और हमेशा चलती रहेगी. बिकॉज हम जब whenever we are writing a new text, we are actually feasting on all the old texts that have been printed before us, that have been written before us. अब अगर मैं supposedly आज मैं कोई बुक लिखने बैठ जाती हूँ तो मैं क्या करूँगी? If it's a research book, I would look at all the works that have been written before me to understand the topic, to understand what has been written and what not has been written. This is what we do in PhDs, right? हम क्या करेंगे? हम सारी बुक्स पढ़ेंगे जितनी पुरानी होंगी, हम उनको उनका रिव्यू करेंगे, उनको कोटेशंस करेंगे. दिस इज़ व्हाट वी कॉल लिटरेचर रिव्यू इन PhDs. So what this is exactly what J.H. Miller was saying. So basically that was it about post-structuralism. Though post-structuralism is very close to postmodernism, but I am going to take postmodernism as a different topic, and we are going to talk about that very soon. But the next theory that I am going to talk about, I am going to teach is psychoanalysis. So be ready for that and do study all the topics that I have already taught, which is structuralism, post-structuralism. So that completes one topic, one entire topic of the RPSC, and we are going to go to the next topic, which is psychoanalysis, in the next video. Okay, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment on my channel, and if there is any problem you have with anything that I'm teaching, do contact me on Telegram. I'll pin my Telegram channel in the comments, and you can tell me whatever the problem is, and I'll make sure that I will take your problems into consideration and find a solution for you. Thank you.